Hello, my name is Veronica. I am a student of English literature and this is my story. I want to tell you about my life in New York City. I also want to tell you about my fantastic teacher. You can read my story and learn English with me. It is a beautiful summer day. I am traveling on a train, and two women are on the train with me. The women are sitting opposite me, and they are speaking English. I don't understand much. I am studying English, but I am a beginner, and I don't know many words. I began speaking to the women, using some basic English. The women understood what I wanted to say, and that made me happy. I told them that I wanted to learn English, and they told me that they are from England. They were going home from a conference. Our conversation lasted for 10 minutes. The next station was mine, so I said goodbye. The women gave me their address and phone number and told me that I could visit them in England. Then we said goodbye. After this meeting, I worked on my English every day. I translated texts and watched films in English. In 6 months, my English had improved. It was good now, but I wanted to learn more. I decided to go to New York City to study English. When I arrived in New York, I joined a school. My first lesson was on Monday. I met my teacher and other students in the class. My teacher was a young and kind lady. She was very nice and humble. We introduced ourselves, and then we proceeded with the lesson. Our teacher had a question for us. She wanted to know our general knowledge about the language. Our teacher told us that she could teach us through a very effective method to learn English. This method was very simple. Our teacher told us that we would not have to study. We wouldn't have to read textbooks, but we would have to use English a lot in our daily lives. It turned out to be very effective for me. I didn't like studying from textbooks because they confused me. Then we spoke about what is important when learning a new language. Our teacher told us that language is a purpose and a mode for communication. We need languages to communicate, to express ideas and thoughts. So when you learn a new language, the best method is to use the language to express your feelings and to communicate with other people as well. This is what we will do in our course. We will speak and make use of the English language a lot. Many students try to remember new words and study grammar rules, but they don't use English for speaking. They study about the language, but they don't use the language. There is a difference. Of course, you need to learn new words and grammar, but you don't have to just study them, you need to practice them on a daily basis. In this course, I wanted to show a very simple and effective method on how to learn vocabulary and grammar. I liked what our teacher said, and our lesson continued. We spoke about our hobbies and what we like to do in our free time. We spoke in pairs or with our teacher. I enjoyed taking classes, and I was really happy. This system of learning turned out to be very good and effective for me. Chapter 2: How I Learned Vocabulary. I went to school again on Tuesday. One of the students asked a question that was interesting to me. She asked, "What is the best way to learn new words?" Our teacher told us there are many things you can do to learn new words. I will tell you what is statistically the most effective way for learning new words. It is reading. When people read, They learn new words of their language twice as fast as people who don't read. It is good to read for at least 30 minutes every day. I want to show you what you should do if you want to get the maximum benefit from reading. First, it is very important that the book or text you read is interesting to you. It is important that you enjoy reading the book. The book can be a nice story. It can be fictional or non-fictional, whatever your interest is in the book. Don't read the text that isn't interesting to you. When you don't know many words, you can get frustrated. You always want to enjoy everything you do while using the language. It is effective to choose a text that is interesting and also suitable for your level. When you read the text and see a word that you don't understand, you should take a dictionary and find the word in the dictionary. Then you would look at its meaning. This will lead to a better understanding of the text, and your knowledge of the text will increase. You won't have to write the word anywhere. The word will automatically get locked in your brain, and you will always remember its meaning whenever you see this word again. Every time there is a new word for you, you will do the same. Reading also has another great advantage. When you read, you learn new words, and you also learn how each word is connected to other words in the sentence. You can see how to link the words correctly. This way of learning new words is very effective. Try it, and you will see how fast you can learn new words. Then we continued with the lesson. We spoke about the situation in England and the best jobs for students. This was good for me because I wanted to get a job. I wanted to do something in my spare time after school. I asked the other students if they knew where I could find a job. They told me that I should go to a job center. The job center offers a lot of jobs, especially for students. This was good for me. I was happy that I knew where to find a job. When my day at school was over, I went to the job center. I didn't know what job I could do, so I asked the lady at the job center, "What is the best job for a student?" The lady told me that they have some good jobs for students. She told me that I could be a cleaner or a waitress in a cafe. I told the lady that I had no experience with these jobs. She told me that my English was good enough to work at the cafe. The training was not difficult, and I would have more chances to speak English than being a cleaner. She told me that I could start my job on Thursday. It was all good for me. I was happy that I had a job where I could practice English. When you want to learn new words effectively, read for 30 minutes every day. On Wednesday, I went to school again. There was one student in the class who was quieter than the others. He was from South Korea. When our teacher asked if we had any questions for her, this student from Korea said that he had a question. He said that he had a big problem with pronunciation. He knew that his pronunciation was not very good, but he didn't know how to improve it. He didn't speak much because he didn't want others to listen to his bad pronunciation. He said that he reads and watches films in English a lot. He understands very well, but he also wants to improve his speaking. He asked if there was something he could do to be better at pronunciation. When my teacher heard this, she said, "Okay, I will tell you something about pronunciation and how to practice it. I will also teach you techniques that can help all of you become better at pronunciation. First, we have to look at why students have problems with pronunciation. When we speak, we have to move our mouths. We have to use the muscles in our mouths. We all do that. The problem is that when you speak English, Sometimes you use your muscles the same way you would use them in your native language. Then your pronunciation is different from the pronunciation of native speakers. This happens to many students who learn English. Almost everybody has a little different pronunciation than they should have. In fact, it is not a big problem because usually people understand what you want to say even if your pronunciation is not perfect. However, you can work on your pronunciation and make it better by using a great technique that can help you a lot. The name of this technique is shadowing. The technique is very simple. When you do shadowing, you simply copy the sound that you hear. When children learn their first language, they learn it by copying. They copy after their parents again and again, and one day their pronunciation becomes perfect. You can learn English pronunciation the same way. This is what you can do. You take some videos or audio recordings that are not very fast and that you can understand very well. You listen and you copy what you hear when you hear it. That is all. Then our teacher went to YouTube and searched for the shadowing technique. She found good videos where the shadowing technique was very well demonstrated. We watched the video, and then we all tried to do shadowing for about 3 minutes. Then our teacher told us, shadowing is also good when you are preparing for a presentation in English and you want to have good pronunciation. Before the presentation, you can go to a place where you are alone, and you can do shadowing for about 10 minutes. You will see how much it will help you have better pronunciation during the presentation. This was very interesting for me. I hadn't heard about this technique before. When the lesson finished, I went to the school reception. I asked the lady if there were any sports activities at school. I would like to do some sport in New York City. The lady at the reception told me, yes, we have a football team at school. We have training twice a week. We are always happy when a new player joins us. I went to the football team training on Wednesday. I met many new people from different countries. I was happy that I could do some sport while I was studying. My first days in New York City were great. I had a wonderful teacher, a job, and I met many new friends. I was happy. Chapter 3: Thinking Aloud. On Thursday, a new student came to our class. Her name was Isabella. She was originally from Italy, but she had been living in New York City for a year. She attended a summer English class for beginners with our teacher last year. Her progress had been remarkable. Isabella shared that she used several techniques to improve her English, one of which was called thinking aloud. Thinking aloud is an effective way to learn and practice English. When you are alone and have some time, you should think aloud in English. You simply say your thoughts out loud. You can start by describing what you see around you. For example, if you are at home, you can say, "This is my room. There is a chair, a table, and a lamp in the room. The lamp is on the table. The table is near the window." This way, you practice speaking English by talking to yourself. You can also talk about what you will do the next day or what you did that day. You can talk about your hobbies or your job. You can talk about anything you want. This is a very effective way to learn English because you learn to think in English. At first, it may be difficult to talk for a long time, but with practice, you will see that you can speak more and more. When you think aloud, you don't have to be afraid of making mistakes. Nobody hears you, so you can practice as much as you want. Isabella explained that thinking aloud helped her transition from thinking in her native Italian to thinking in English. It also helped her improve her speaking fluency significantly. She continued to practice this technique daily, and it became an integral part of her language learning journey. Inspired by Isabella's progress, I decided to try thinking aloud myself. I began practicing every day, speaking my thoughts out loud, describing everything around me, and talking about my day in English. This practice helped me to improve my speaking skills and also made me more confident in using English in my daily life. As I continued my studies in New York City, I realized that language learning is not just about memorizing words and grammar rules. It's about using the language in real-life situations, practicing it daily, and finding ways to make it a part of your life. Whether it's through reading, shadowing, or thinking aloud, these techniques have helped me improve my English and made my journey of learning the language an enjoyable experience. When you want to speak English fluently, remember to read, listen, think, and speak for 40 minutes every day. You can practice these skills with the stories on our channel, Best Stories in English, where learning becomes an adventure. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Also, comment for more videos like this, and check out the playlist on the end screen. Thanks for watching.